Hi, are you from Kenya and looking to qualify as a solicitor of England and Wales? If so, this video is for you. My name's Ingemar. I'm the lead consultant at HCL, and we do a lot of work to help people with the process of qualifying as solicitors through the SQE route. We act as independent external confirming solicitors for qualifying work experience, QWE. And also we help people who are already qualified as lawyers with their application for exemption from the SQE too. We also do lots of other things like law firm compliance, lots of help with that, and case management systems, set up law firms, all this sort of thing. But I'm focusing on qualifying as a solicitor through the SQE route for Kenyans. So I'm going to share my screen and take you straight to this, which runs through the elements for qualifying as a solicitor. So you'll see there are 4 elements through the SQE route. You have to have a degree or degree equivalent, pass the exams, the SQE1 and SQE2, have a minimum of 2 years full-time equivalent qualifying work experience confirmed to the SRA by an SRA regulated solicitor or a COLP, and prove your identity and undergo the criminal records checks. So let's talk through those in a little more detail. Then I'm going to talk about exemptions that might be available. So I'm talking about this with regard to people who are not qualified or people who are qualified already as lawyers from Kenya. So you have to have a degree or degree equivalent. Notice it's not a law degree. So if a training provider, should you use one, says that they want you to take a converter course, that's their requirement, not the requirement of the SRA. It doesn't even have to be a degree. It needs to be a degree or degree equivalent. So the SRA uses, I think it's a company called ENIC, to then check equivalency. So there we go with that. Exams, the SQE1 and the SQE2. So 2 exams. The SQE1 is a multiple choice exam made up of 2 parts, FLK1 and FLK2. FLK stands for functioning legal knowledge. It's testing you on your knowledge. It's a tough exam. There are usually 4 potential answers to each question, more than one of which could be correct. Of the people who sit the exam, roughly about 55% pass. It's tough time-wise as well. You really need to be disciplined in your speed of answering questions. So that's the SQE1. The SQE2 you cannot sit or apply to sit unless you have passed the SQE1 or been exempted from the SQE1. Now, the SQE2 is the SRA looking at you as if you were a newly qualified solicitor. Would you be a safe pair of hands for them to license? It's made up of 16 questions, real life examples or situations, and they want to see how you function in them. 12 are written, 4 are oral. Now, for the oral questions, you currently still have to travel to the UK, England and Wales. I think it's Manchester, London and Cardiff where you can sit those. Currently, I'm recording this at the end of May 2026. For the written parts of the SQE2 and for the SQE1, you'll be taking those in the Pearson View Centres, which are scattered around the world. And so you can look up on the SRA website where the closest one is to you. But for those parts, you don't have to travel to the UK. So that's the exams. By the way, of the SQE2, roughly of the people who sit the exam, roughly about 77% pass. But bear in mind that is a filtered group, of course. So there we go. Now, the QWE, qualifying work experience. So you have to have a minimum of 2 years full-time equivalent qualifying work experience confirmed to the SRA by an SRA regulated solicitor. Full-time, what does full-time mean? The SRA says that is a minimum of 32 hours a week, QWE. What is QWE? It is the provision of legal services. And they go on to say that it does not have to be done in a law firm. So you could be working in-house or in a government department or charity. So it does not have to be done in English law. or Welsh law. It doesn't have to be done in England and Wales. So it could be voluntary, and you can reach back in time as far as you want for your QWE. You can also use an external solicitor to do the confirmation, which is a service that we provide. And at the time of recording this, we've confirmed the QWE of over 200 people from all over the world, including, I can recall, at least one person from Kenya. So I'm going to bring up onto screen there we go, this page from our website, where you can see the service that we provide for the QWE. So yeah, if you don't have a solicitor in your organization to help you with confirming your QWE, feel free to reach out to us, and I will probably ask some preliminary questions, but then if it seems appropriate, suggest that we have a free, no obligation initial Zoom to explore your QWE, see if I feel it's appropriate for me to act, and then if it does seem okay, then to run through what the process is. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Proving your identity, criminal records checks. So you can't avoid that. You've got to have to do that. Identity checks. So if you don't have a solicitor in your organization to help with that, then we do have a little service here to verify your identity, which the SRAs have said that I can do remotely using Zoom. So if you need that at the end, and there you go. Right. So let's have a look at exemptions. You can't be exempted from this requirement about the degree or the degree equivalent. You can't be exempted from the identity proof and the criminal records checks, exams. So the only way in reality that you're going to get an exemption from the SQE1 is if you happen to have sat and passed the old route LPC exam. Then you can trade that in effectively against the SQE1, which you'll do through your MySRA profile on the SRA website, uploading proof that you passed it, and then they'll give you an exemption from the SQE1. Okay, they won't give you exemption from both exams. So it's a question of, you know, what you apply for there. Now, SQE2, you can only apply for exemption from that if you are already qualified as a lawyer. Okay. Now, if you happen to have both options open to you, you've passed the LPC and you're a qualified Kenyan lawyer, then what do? Well, if you apply for exemption from this and sit this, then you would still have to get your QWE confirmed. If, however, you sit the SQE1 and apply for exemption from the SQE2, you will automatically be exempted from the QWE. And that's the only way you're going to be exempted from that in reality. Right, okay. Now then, let's have a look at applying for exemption from the SQE2. Only if you are qualified as a Kenyan advocate, and I brought onto screen what the SRA says about this. And we do help people through the application. So if you need it. So you can make an individual application for exemption. And to do this, you will need to provide evidence of your professional qualification. They've given a couple of examples. I'd go for the admission certificate because there's no time, it doesn't run out effectively. Then you'll also need to prove that you have at least 6 months legal work experience post-qualification as a Kenyan advocate. Okay, so legal work experience is a different definition than from QWE. So just bear that in mind. Legal work experience, 6 months, because they're taking into account, I believe, 18 months, which is a mandatory part of your qualification as a Kenyan advocate. So to prove the 6 months, you'll need to do that normally by a reference letter. Okay, normally you would draft that for the person providing the reference. Who can provide the reference? Only someone who directly supervised your work. Okay, and they will ask you in that letter to set out what the arrangements were for that supervision. So there are various other technical things that they want you to include in the letter, which you'll find that we set out in No, in that page of our website. It's all set out there, but we do have a small service, £250 plus VAT if you're based in the UK, to help you through the process. We'll give you some templates for the letters. We'll review your draft letter. We'll review your application so that, and guide you on what you need to do to make the application. Okay, so that's the letter of reference. The person who gives you the reference, you'll also need to get from them proof of their qualification, admission certificate. If they're not a solicitor, then other proof of their qualification. If they're not a professional at all, then, or if they're not a solicitor, whichever way, you'll have to include in the letter a description of how they were suitable to supervise your legal work. Okay. So that's how you make that application. I'll just bring onto screen the actual application form. Pretty straightforward. Section 1 is who you are. Section 2 is the bar where you are qualified. And as a Kenyan advocate, you will, be able to say yes to all of these practice rights that your qualification gives you at section 2.2. Section 3 is about your ethics. Section 4B is what you fill in, also ticking the SQE 2 exemption, because that's what you're asking for. And then the other bit you fill in is section 7C, because it's a combination of some of your time being your 2 years legal work experience being proved by your qualification, the 18 months, and then the remaining 6 months being proved by the letter of reference. Okay, so that's how you make that application. Please do feel free to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or if you're watching this on TikTok, then on there as well. That really helps this the algorithm and more people to get to this, and let other people know if this could be of help. So yeah, just bringing up on screen what we've looked at on here. I hope that's of help to you, and feel free to reach out to us. Now, if you do want to get hold of us, then please fill in the form on our website or email me. Okay, please don't call me, because chances are you won't get hold of me. Okay, so I hope that's helpful, and wish you all the best. Goodbye.